Welcome to the Get Trauma Informed podcast, dedicated to unraveling the complexities of trauma, its pervasive impact, and the journey towards holistic recovery and realignment. If your radiance has ever felt muted, like I and thousands of others, you're in the right place to reignite your inner light. I'm your host, Wellness Coach Liz Blanding, and this is the Get Trauma Informed podcast. Welcome back to another episode of Trauma Talks. LaSchell and I are going to jump in today because we are truly passionate about the topic that we're going to talk about today. LaSchell, how are you?
I am wonderful, Dr. Liz. Thank you for inviting me back once again. Nice to be here.
Absolutely. Nice to have you here. I know after our last podcast, we had a little bit of a conversation and we wanted to dig in a little bit deeper about Sassy sisters and really what that means. You know, we're on this journey to overcoming trauma in business as women. And so we're talking to our sisters today. You know, there's a lot of different ways that we can overcome trauma. So we're going to stick in that vein today. And one of the things that we talked about was coaching. And I thought that was so important because we don't understand oftentimes how important coaching is to our business success and even life coaches, right? To our life success. So we're going to dig into this topic a little bit today. And we just want to, just talk about what does that mean to have a coach? A lot of people don't understand the importance of having a coach.
You know, Liz, and that is a great question. Thank you for asking. As a leadership coach, I can speak for myself as a leadership coach and trainer. I believe that it's just great to have a internal, that inner health checkup with yourself. It's especially for our women out here. When I just imagine, think of it as a regular medical checkup that helps you understand what's happening internally in your body, right? Well, leadership coaching, on the other hand, offers a thorough examination of your professional and your personal development needs. So that's kind of how I look at it. And
Yeah.
I think that we need to go to the doctor. We must go to the doctor, and we got to get better at that. A lot of people, a lot of people struggle with that as a part of trauma, not going to the doctor often enough, right? And it's the same with with coaching. We gotta really tune in and understand how it helps us to be better, live better lives, and more quality life.
Right. And I want to dig into that part about going to the doctor, right? So when we talk about that, we have different doctors in different areas, right? We have traditional doctors, we have doctors in different specialties like, chiropractors, we have naturopathic doctors, we have all these different doctors that are, that we can plug in and tune into for our tune-ups, right?
That's
So
right.
when we talk about that, think about a professional athlete, one that achieves great success. He doesn't do that on his own. And oftentimes we feel as an entrepreneur, we have to be an island or we must do it all ourselves. No, in order to be great, we need the coaching. And I liken it to a professional coach, a professional player, because they don't just have one coach. They have multiple coaches.
Right.
So like right now, I'm working with 4 different coaches because I finally realized that no man or woman is an island. You
That's
must
right.
have people that specialize in their areas to help you to achieve what it is that you want to achieve. So, I have, life coaches, right? And this is the thing. You can be a coach yourself and still need coaching. You can be a therapist yourself, which I am not, we are not, but you can be a therapist and still go to a therapist. There was
Yes.
a article that Kerry Washington talked about the other day, and she talked about how she was having a conversation with a friend, and she was telling her friend how she had been in therapy for many, many years. And her friend told her, well, maybe you need to switch therapists if you have to keep going for many, many years. She said, wait, hold on. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to go to my therapist because we're talking out situations and things that arise every day. And I thought that was so profound for her to say that. She was like, no, it's not a chore. It's not a chore. And so when we change our paradigm and start thinking about things in a different way, one of my coaches, I'm going to give a shout out to Coach Michael Matthews because he says this all the time. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, right?
That's
And I
right.
think that is so phenomenal. And if we look at one of my other coaches, who is Coach Marcus Ogden, who is just absolutely phenomenal, who also was a professional athlete, right? And when you look at the way that people become successful, they become successful because they have the right people around them, right? The right people around them to help them to go where they are looking or to achieve those goals. Because I mean, think about it. None of us come here with the playbook, right?
That's
We
right.
we don't come with a playbook. So in order for us to learn it, we need to learn it from successful people. So coaches are amazing at helping us to get there. And you just said it too about taking a look on the inside, an internal investigation, right? It's funny, and I'm going to throw the ball back in your court. I get so passionate about this because it was something that I didn't understand years and years ago. And I was wondering, why am I not receiving, or why am I not achieving the success that I know is inside of me? And until I started stripping back that onion of trauma and then listening to my coaches, man, I was in the dark. And I think a lot of us are entrepreneurs swimming in the dark.
Absolutely. And I think, you hit it right on the head when you talked about, like your friends, maybe you should switch. Why are you still going back? And again, just imagine your medical practitioner, right? The follow-up appointments, right? Having those regular check-ins with your coach, right? This all is critical in our growth and development, reviewing our progress. That's what we're doing, reviewing our progress. And these sessions, kind of when you have these sessions, I know with my coach, it helps me. She gets me back on track when I'm off track. I address strategies as needed, right? Because life happens, things happen, right? And so, and because of the way the world is moving and how things change, your goals and strategies are a breathing and living thing as well. So sometimes you have to adjust those, and that helps us to continue on our growth journey. So I think this is some great information that we can lend to people and help them to understand better why a coach in your life is needed. And just like you're a doctor, you don't jump from doctor to doctor to doctor to doctor. You kind of stick with that doctor, right? You kind of stick with that person, because they're in progress with you. They're on that journey with you. That they're your cheerleader, right? That support, that person who knows what you're going through, knows your story. Now, if they're just not doing their job, that's a totally different story, of course, right? But if you are hitting those milestones, you are hitting those achievements, you are getting that advice you need, you are feeling, healthier, and you're feeling that those growth spurts, definitely you want to stick in there. And yeah, I can't even imagine, Liz, as I reflect, I can't imagine my life without a coach. Once
I
you get
can't
a
either.
coach, you don't go back, right?
Right. That's
And
so
you get
true.
another one and
It's so
another one, right?
true.
You know what I'm saying?
It's so
Yes.
true. Yes. It was so funny. One of my coaches, when I had hit a certain plateau, we actually became partners, right? And it was so funny because when I got to that point and then I brought on another coach, one of my coaches, he said, well, it's time for you to graduate. It's time for you, we about to kick you out the nest. And I'm like, no, I'm holding on for dear life. We laugh about this now. It's been 4 or 5 years now. And we laugh about it to this day because he said, you just grabbed hold and was like, I'm not letting go. I know I need to graduate, but no, 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 no. And
Right,
then, like I
right.
said, we flipped over, we became partners, and we have been a blessing to one another, all along the way. But the thing that I learned about coaching and about, even in this trauma space is that when your coach is feeding you with the information that you need, it's great to be able to sit down, simmer with it, sit down and go over in your journal and look at it from all angles, like step outside yourself to look at it from all angles. And then also make sure that you have coaches that are trauma informed, that do
That's right.
understand, and that you're not holding it in, because we can have a coach in front of us, a great, amazing coach, but if they're not trauma informed and you're not letting them know or letting them into that trauma space, then you can overreact. You can throw darts at them and you can do all kinds of things to harm that relationship, and you won't get what it is that you desire. So I learned a long time ago from one of my coaches again that are you trying to be right? Or are you trying to work through your trauma? Are you trying to get healthy? Are you looking at because oftentimes we're fighting for that space of being right because we've been wrong so long. Let that resonate with you. That is so, oh my gosh, that's so full. And as we're going through this Get Trauma Informed movement and podcast, I'm still growing. I love it when you share your nuggets with us, LaSchell, because I'm taking that in and I'm no longer feeling like, okay, I have to, I have to be right. I have to save face. No, I'm like, no, there's, what is that song? Donnie McClurkin. He sings a song and it says, search me, Lord. he said, search me, Lord. Anything in me that's not right, take it out and make me over, right? And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about peeling back this onion, y'all, because trauma is not fair. And trauma, remember, it's not your fault, right? But recovery is our responsibility.
Yes. So get to the doctor and get you a coach, because like we said, this helps prescribe what we need for our behaviors and getting to the right type of doctor. We don't go to a sports medicine doctor if if we're having cataracts issues, right? We got to get to the right people so that we can get the right prescriptions and the right diagnosis, right? And we can get on the right plans and the right strategies, right? So that we can propel and move forward and overcome the things that are ailing us.
That
Amen.
is so true. Oh my goodness. And you said that too. Just I go back to the, I love athletic what am I trying to say? I love sports, right? And I love athletic endeavors. And so I think when you talk about, when you say your doctors, and I'm saying, coaches or what have you, they have a coach for, to help them with strengthening. They have a coach for, as far as like, what do you call it? When somebody hurt themselves and they have a coach on the field or a medical person on the field to to brace them up or to evaluate whether they need to go for further treatment, or their medical coaches or what have you, then nutrition coaches or or what so all of these different specialty areas to be able to help you be better. So when you talked about it before, you said analyze what's going on with you, right? You need to be honest, come close your doors and be naked with yourself and write it down. What is going on with me? What is triggering me? What is causing me to be all of these things, right? So as you're doing that, you want to say, as you're doing that and you're having all of these types of issues and everything that happen with you, you want to make sure that you get with the proper coach, right? So, we had a little bit of a snafu right here. I believe our host had to step off for a minute. And so we are going to wrap up this session, though. It has been such an honor to come in front of everybody. And, LaSchell will be back with us on next podcast to finish up talking about trauma talks, right? So again, we thank you so much. Make sure that you're stepping out there and that you are grabbing the proper coach for you so that we can get beyond this trauma and so that we can be successful in our entrepreneur endeavors. Thank you so much for listening. And this is another example. Nobody is perfect. So we are not looking for perfection in this, right? We're not looking for perfection, but we're looking to overcome our traumas and be the best that we can in our businesses. Until next time, we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. It's time to buckle up. No more suffering in silence. Our Power Pack journey to recovery and realignment starts now. Remember, you are collateral damage on someone else's warpath. Trauma is not your fault. Recovery, however, is your responsibility. I'm your host, Wellness Coach Liz Blanding, and this is the Get Trauma Informed podcast.